How's it going, everybody? I'm gonna give you guys my Bitcoin prophecy since it's reached its all-time high here. I figured getting pretty good at reading the graphs. I figured everybody might like to hear my opinion on what I think is gonna happen and where the markets are gonna move and what I'm thinking is gonna happen. Now, before I start the video, I want to make sure everybody knows this video is not financial advice. Trade at your own risk. None of the information I'm gonna give here in the video is 100% accurate, so do not rely on any of this information or any of your own investments. Take it with a grain of salt. We'll kind of just see how good of a guess I make and see if it actually happens or not. So, now if you're wondering what indicators I am using, this is my own custom made indicator. The one that you see. Which one is it? It is this one. It's the Ultimate Heat Map Sniper Bot. Or, sorry, that isn't it. It's actually this one. The Ultimate Precision Buy and Sell Signals. I believe it's that one. Yeah. So I made all of my indicators. That one, and that one. This calculates a expected percentage of a bear reversal or a bull reversal, so it's at a 30% bear reversal probability. Now, my main indicator that I like the most is this one. Actually, I like that one, but I also kind of really like the sniper bot. So with the sniper bot, you can see it has the red line and the green line. That is actually the sniper bot indicator. Now, what I'm gonna tell you is that I've just looked at my indicator for so long that I just kind of I can visualize it, I can see it. So I'm gonna tell you what I see, what I think is gonna happen. So first and foremost, I'm looking at the 4-hour time frame. So I just so happened to be at the 4-hour time frame when I decided to make the videos. So let's go out to the 3-month time frame. I always like to reset the chart view. Fuck. That would be a completely reset chart view. But we do want to zoom in a little bit. Now, first thing I want to tell you is after looking at these candles for so long, I've begun to realize what's basically happening. So they're kind of inflating and deflating the moving average. So kind of think of the moving average as like the airbed. So they inflate it and deflate it. So when these green candles are going up, they're basically lifting up the moving average. They're lifting up the moving average and setting it down, lifting it up and setting it down. So every asset's a little bit different. With every asset, it's all about its durability is a little bit different. So each asset has a little bit different of a durability. So Bitcoin just so happened to have a very unique durability where it inflated like this. So it has all sorts of options of where it's going to continue to keep going. So my prediction is, so first of all, you really need to look at every single time frame. So even a 12-month time frame, a 6-month time frame, even a 2-year time frame, a 3-year time frame. Every asset technically has a time frame where you're going to look at it for everything. And you just begin to zoom in. So we begin to zoom in on the 1 year and the half year. So if you look at the half year, you just don't get much detail. So when you're not getting much detail, you need to zoom in. We're getting more detail, we need to zoom in a little bit further. So once you start to reach the point where you begin to see the detail, that's where you're going to start seeing the thresholds and the points of where everything maxes out. So we're getting to the point where it's getting close to where everything is maxing out. You see how I'm saying how everything is maxing out? Why am I saying everything is maxing out? Do you notice how the moving average is actually maxing out? It's reaching the point where it's reaching the top of the candle. So kind of think about it like a timer. Once that moving average reaches the top of that candle, it's like the end. So we're almost at the time frame where we're going to get the most information. So generally speaking, all that's been happening here is the money keeps going in. Okay, so they're taking the money out, putting the money in, taking the money out. Notice where my mouse is. So they're taking the money in, so it's like flattening it, putting the money in, taking it out, putting the money in, taking it out. Now, the whole point of what they want to do is either lift the moving average or compress it. So you see how this sell candle kind of acts like a suction cup. That's what I like to visualize it as. So now they're at the point they're going to lift the moving average because they're like locked onto the moving average like a suction cup. So they're beginning to lift it even further. But every asset is a little bit different. So we're really going to start getting where the price is headed on the weekly. So where you're going to get the most information on your price movements is the weekly. Why the weekly? Because as you can see with the weekly, everything is like lining up perfectly with the moving average. So you kind of see how they're rolling out the moving average, taking the money out, putting it in, taking it out, putting it in. And then now they're putting it in, lifting it up as high as they can go. There are all sorts of other areas of the indicators that I'm actually looking at, like right here. This is an important part of the indicator to look at. But we can see that it's really maxing out. So at the 1 day, we can see that it begins to really max out. So my prediction is we have reached what I think is probably going to be our all-time high for Bitcoin for a while. Fuck, I'm trying to reset the view. Give me a sec. Okay. So where do I think the price is going to go? So here's what I think is going to happen. And you notice how there was that gigantic well that sold $9.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, and he got it at 54,000. $54,000 of Bitcoin. That's a pretty big indicator also. So another magic thing to really pay attention to on my indicator is that purple line right in the middle. That's the magic trailing line. I forgot exactly what it is. I can look. It is... That's the expected high, expected low. Okay. So that's what the red and green line are on my indicator. It is the magic... I can't. I don't remember. But anyway, that's important. One of the most important parts of my indicator is that purple line in the middle. Because if it's trading above the purple line, it's going to keep lifting it. If it's trading below the purple line, it's going to keep compressing it. So it's reaching the point that it's unable to trade above the purple line. So I believe it's going to start compressing it. Because it can no longer really trade above the purple line. So I think it's going to start compressing it. So we can see on the 4-hour that it's really reaching the point that it can no longer lift that purple moving line. Because it's lifting the purple line and the moving average. So you see how it's starting to get really flat? It's because it's really starting to compress and max out. It can't lift it any further. I'm pretty sure from my understandings, it can't really lift it much further. So it's just going to do the opposite. If it can't lift it much further, it's just going to compress it. But you don't know how long it's going to compress it. So it's only going to compress it as long as it really needs to. But you don't know if it's going to be for a month or a year or 3 years, 5 years. So it could start compressing it for a while. So where is there's the purple line right there. So it could go back down to that purple line. So if it is going to go back down to that purple line and start reversing, we could expect Bitcoin to go back down to 40,000. I know that sounds insane, but that's where the purple line is. And it likes to suck back down and latch onto it like a suction cup. So it's going to use that as like to hold on to it. So don't be surprised if you see a red candle that goes down to that purple line here, 40,000, because it's going to latch onto it, grip onto it. So it might pull back to 40,000 and start latching onto it and preparing to lift it even further. Or 70,000. So we see here the purple line is at 70,000. So it might start off going to 70,000. And then slowly the moving average is going to start to drop. So if it does go down to the 70,000, the moving average is slowly going to start to drop. So it's going to start staying attached to the moving average and the middle purple line here. So if it does go to 70,000, it's going to try to pop back up to like 100,000 and keep going back and forth, and then it's going to start shooting down to 40,000. So my prediction for Bitcoin, I think it's headed for 40,000, guys. I think it could be... How long do I think it's going to take before it reaches 40,000? Well, here on my prediction... I don't think it's going to do it by August. I don't think it's going to be that soon. I am going to predict 40,000 Bitcoin, but it's gonna take for like the next year. I think Bitcoin might start going into a massive bear run over the next year or two or longer. So we'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, we might literally be looking at the final all-time high green candle. But you never know. It might continue to go up to 150. It could go to 150 before it starts to go to 75. Maybe it goes to 150 and then 75. We'll see.